So loud.
Welcome to Teachers, where we spill the tea about teaching.
About teaching.
I'm Natalie.
And I'm Chris. So, it's been a while.
A hot minute.
We put out 3 episodes this summer. That was our goal. We got them out a little bit quicker, so it's been a minute. But we're back, as always.
We're alive.
We are 2 immortals making a podcast about books. So, we're in it for the long haul. So, what has happened since we've talked 8 weeks ago?
I think the biggest thing is that all of our student teaching schools have started now, so we're all officially observing, which is fun.
Yep, we are up in it.
I've been really enjoying seeing my cooperating teacher just kind of do her thing. She's a really fun teacher to be able to observe and just communicate with because she is honestly great.
So, yeah, I really like my teacher too. We have completely different teaching styles, but we're working together and it's really nice. I love working with her students because they're just so funny. They're hilarious and they don't get everything right, but once they got to know me and warm up to me a bit more, I can actually work with them and I feel like we're getting a lot more content done when I'm able to be 2 teachers in the room, so twice as many people helping. So I feel pretty fulfilled being in that classroom right now.
It's really fun. I've been grading a lot of stuff mostly, which is good experience.
Yeah, I did a little bit of grading, and I had trouble because it was a grammar quiz, and there were 7 things to get wrong.
Oh no.
So I was okay, if you get more than 3 wrong, it's half credit. If you get more than 6 wrong, then, you just missed the whole thing. So, I was strict about what I was grading, but then I was, having leniency in, how much of it you could actually get wrong before it was, a whole thing.
Yeah, I had to, because, they were more, creative writing stuff and, poem writing. They did an A to Z alphabet poem, and then they did a really short creative writing piece about what sort of animal they'd be if they were an animal or a bug.
That's so cool. What grade are you in?
9th and 10th.
I'm jealous. I'm in 11th, and we're just learning grammar and writing explanation papers and stuff.
Yeah, we're
getting there though.
It was hard to grade at first because I was I was kind of I don't really know what the kids should know by now, so I don't really know what I'm supposed to be looking for to grade.
Yeah.
And then it was really hard to be oh, yeah, you don't get full credit for, I didn't know how exactly to take off points because, it's creative writing. It's a little bit more difficult to grade, but my cooperating teacher was really helpful because, for the A to Z alphabet poem, she's if they haven't followed the directions, which was you had to have at least 8 words for each line, if they haven't done that or they haven't written about themselves, because you also had to make each line about you, they were going to miss points. So that was a lot easier to do. Yeah,
so you're not really grading, how creative are you? It was more how well can you follow the directions and, actually produce a coherent paper.
Yeah, and this was one of the things they had to write, in the first 2 weeks of school, so it was more of this is how I'm going to get to know you, this is how I'm going to learn about your writing style and, what you actually know, because that's what we were using the creative writing Bugs Life for, is because we were also looking for exactly how well they could follow those directions, because they had to do it. They had to describe sensory images and write a narrative about it, about their day as that animal. Mm-hmm. And so they had to have at least 2 sentences for each image, or sensory detail, sorry. And the way that happened was that a lot of them didn't do that. So they missed some points.
Yeah. I always wonder, at what point are you, the directions weren't clear enough versus 80% of the students weren't listening.
There has to be really just 80% of the students weren't listening.
Yeah, but I feel there's a break point somewhere where you're okay, maybe my instruction has to be better, or maybe just these instructions themselves aren't that great. Because I know in Testa's class we did a lot of unscaffolded work.
Yeah,
and that was kind of to demonstrate how you would make a high school assignment more difficult for college students or honors or AP students, because you take a little bit of the scaffolding away so that it challenges them to kind of jump the gaps and get there. So I feel like especially when we're working with like 9th and 10th graders or like remedial classes, that scaffolding has to really be clear.
Yeah.
Because like if 80% of your students are missing it, like that's 80%. Like there's no way 80% of your class is like below level unless you know it beforehand. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're just really bad at following directions.
Yeah.
They're like, because it says explicitly at least 2 sentences, and she went over with them in class, and she's like, at least 2 sentences.
Yeah.
And they're all just like, but what if I give you 1?
Yeah. And I know this was a while ago, but we talked about like peer review and how that might not be like a super effective method.
Yeah,
because
definitely.
A lot of the time they just end up making their papers worse. I think that's something where you could hand them the rubric and be like, peer review based on these parts of the rubric.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That way they could because you can look at someone else's paper and just be like, hey, like you didn't really pay attention. You need 2 sentences.
Yeah.
So like you only wrote half a paper. You're not getting above a 50%. So I think like that's where peer review could come in really effective.
Yeah, definitely.
For kind of like simple like stuff like that.
We did do peer reviewing because she's teaching them how to write a coherent paragraph essentially for like the 9th graders.
Yeah.
And so she was giving them a sheet of paper that explains like how many sentences you should have for like the explanation and how many sentences you should have for like your introductory idea essentially. And like so she had them write a paragraph without any of these instructions, gave them like the sheet of paper for like explaining all of that, and then she had them swap papers with somebody and they had to mark how many sentences they had for each one and like if they had that and if they didn't have that, and then she had them rewrite it. So the peer review came in handy there.
Yeah. Do I want to talk about anything specific from my class? Oh, you're talking about like what would you do if you were an animal?
Yes.
So I asked my students what their spirit animals were on the first day to kind of like get to know them a little bit better. Not a single 11th grader has a spirit animal, except for the one like kid. His spirit animal is Danny DeVito. Yeah.
I don't really have a response to that.
Yeah, he's a hoot. I've been enjoying working with him. Yeah, other than that, this semester is going like way differently than I thought it would. Like I thought I would be spending a ton of time at my school, and then I'd be like kind of chill in all my classwork, and it's kind of the opposite.
Oh my gosh, it's so much the opposite.
Because like I'm at my school twice a day or twice a week for like extended hours. That way, like I'm making sure I get all my time, and I'm making sure I'm spending time in like every class. But like other than that, like my art class is like 15 hours a week. It's like it's 6 in the classroom, and then we're supposed to be spending like a ton of time outside like working on it. And like I get it, it's an art class, but also like I wanted to learn how to paint. Okay? Like I took the wrong class. I get it. It was a last minute decision. I think this is making me a better painter in the long run, but
you're not painting right now.
Yeah, the amount of time I'm spending not painting is
a lot.
More than I expected. I was kind of hoping I could go in there and be like, hey, look at this painting. How do I make it better? And she'd be like, oh, like your brush strokes are garbage. So here's some ways to practice your brush strokes. Come back next week with a different painting. Like that would have been my ideal art class. But here we are drawing and taking pictures of circles for 12 hours.
I am not taking an art class, and I still feel overwhelmed with classwork. Mostly because I have to take exams again, and I've forgotten how to study well.
What do you mean? You have like a midterm coming up already?
No, we have a linguistics exam over like phonetics and like the first chapters, and I have to memorize like the entire phonetics alphabet.
Oh, yeah.
And I've forgotten how to do things.
The way I always memorize stuff is there's a website that does flashcards. It's like the second one when you Google online flashcards. It's not the first one. Like, it's not Quizlet.
You're not doing Quizlet.
No, it's not Quizlet.
Well, she has a Quizlet for her class, which is helpful. It's just,
There's an interactive IPA thing online.
Yes.
Where you, like, click the letter and it makes the sound.
And then just laughed for 5 minutes in class.
Yeah, so, like, I think combining those two together, like, it'll take a while to memorize a different alphabet, but that's how I worked on it when I took linguistics.
Yeah. It just feels like days are getting very long. I get home at 5 every single day.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, I have to do like 6 hours of homework, but I'm really tired.
Wake up at 6 a.m. every day, go to bed at like 10. It's 8 hours of sleep. It's not that bad, but like, I don't know. I'm not overwhelmed. It's just different from what I was expecting.
Yes, very different.
My focus is in an area that I wasn't expecting it to be. All right, are you ready to move on? We haven't talked about our tea yet.
We haven't.
We're 10 minutes in. We haven't even said the word tea.
Oh, guys, we're doing you a disservice.
Okay, so I'm slumming it today. I got Pure Leaf, real brewed tea.
Oh, you got the extra sweet.
Yeah, I picked up extra sweet because like that's not my thing, but I wanted it to be an experience.
It's like super, super sweet.
It's also room temperature as so that makes it even sweeter. It's not bad. If like gun to my head, I'd drink it again. I also bought raspberry.
The raspberry is good.
Yeah, I think I remember liking the raspberry, so I picked that up as like an extra if I need to.
Okay, well, I have a Arnold Palmer half and half iced tea and lemonade. It's a can. I found this like, I think it's a 12-pack or like maybe 16-pack in Aldi's for like $3 of just like all the cans. So I bought it and it's just chilled in my room.
Is it different flavors or is it all the same?
No, it's all the same, which is what I wanted because I like it. Also, a tiny burst of caffeine in the middle of the day is nice. Oh, yes, by the way, I'm no longer living in the dorms this year, kids. I have moved to a whole townhouse. It's nice. I have a room that nobody else lives in.
Drink your tea.
I'm going to.
Tell us about it. Stop rubbing it on the table.
I'm providing sound effects.
No.
I do agree that I think this does taste better, like, chilled, because I brought this to student teaching with me yesterday in my lunchbox, and it was cold then, and it definitely did taste better. But I always like half and half. And I mean, like, I feel like there could be a little bit more lemonade-y flavor, because right now it's just kind of like tea, but it tastes more watered down than mixed with lemonade.
Half water and half tea.
Yeah, like, but it's still pretty tasty. Like, I'm not gonna pass it up.
Maybe that's what the light means. They made half water, half lemonade, and then they just poured half water. But yeah, I really like the Arizona stuff.
I love Arizona.
I think there's also like a strawberry version that's really good.
There is. I love that. I buy it from Sheetz when I go to Sheetz. Sheetz, sponsor me.
Sheetz, if you're out there, please. Just give us each $1. We'll say your name 5 times per episode.
But that's what I always buy there because it is my favorite flavor.
Okay. Moving on to poems. Do you want to go first?
Okay. I've actually been searching back through all my old schoolwork folders because I'm trying to find short activities that I can use in my classroom, as my cooperating teacher has told me to, that take like 10 to 15 minutes, so when we have extra time, we can force the children to do them.
Isn't that what all of school is?
Yes, but...
Like, we're sitting here forcing students to do things.
But I also have to align them to standards, which some of them it was kind of easy, some of them it was kind of hard.
How's that experience? Like, finding old work you did and then, like, figuring out what standards your teacher was probably aiming for when you did it?
I stared at some of them, and I went... I'm not using that because I didn't enjoy it, or like I found it really weird to do.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't think it'll make sense to the kids because like I didn't even understand what we were doing.
Yeah.
But other ones I found, I was like, oh, clearly this is the standard this matches up with.
Yeah.
But I was thinking maybe we could do blackout poetry, and then I was like, what standard does blackout poetry align to?
I would have to like look at them.
So like I'll tell you.
I'm sure there's a creative writing standard, the blackout poetry, and you can definitely do like you can use it as an introduction, and there's definitely like
I was thinking of like you could use it as scaffolding to like help kids understand the book or like maybe check in on vocabulary.
Yeah.
But at the same time, those aren't standards. So I found...
Vocabulary has to be a standard, isn't it?
I don't know if this works. I'm going to have to wait for my cooperating teacher to tell me, but I found a standard. It's L9 through 10.3, and it's apply knowledge of language to understand how language functions in different contexts to make effective choices for meaning or style and to comprehend more fully when reading or listening. And I thought that was the most fitting for it that I could find at the moment.
Yeah, like a lot of the standards are so broad that like as long as you're like doing a good job of teaching, they're gonna pick up a lot of the standard stuff.
Yeah, you can definitely justify it. Like it's not like I just want them to color on a page. Like
if someone like kicks the door into their classroom and you're like, "What standard are you learning right now?" Like the students aren't gonna know, but you're gonna be able to point and be like, "Well, actually, we're at C9 1.14."
Yeah.
It's like, okay.
Oh, we're using Progress Book to grade our students, and it's really cool because my cooperating teachers found this, but when you have a sheet of work that, like, you're putting the grades in, you can actually go find the Progress Book as this little, like, file where there's standards, and you can go click on what standards apply to this work.
Oh, that's so neat.
It's really nice.
Is there a way to, like, look at an overview of, like, every standard you've hit so far?
Yeah, I think there is. It's really cool. It's so really nice.
Useful,
yeah.
Because one of the things that I've always been, like, curious about is, like, how do you make an entire year of plans and make sure you're hitting every single standard? Like, it seems like you're going to be, like, guessing and checking every single time. Like, are you going to get to the end of the year and you're like, oh, man, I never hit standard 96. And you're like, well, we better come up with a lesson about, and you, like, flip to the book and it's like, I don't know, like, transhumanism, here we go. How fun would it be to have a standard on transhumanism? It's like, you have to learn about cyborgs. It's in the standard, students. I'm sorry, but 49.8.
I feel like that's not what our country needs right now, I'm going to be honest.
Look, listen, if they're not going to learn about cyborgs in their English class, they're going to learn about cyborgs in their science class, and it's going to be dry and boring, okay? We need more cyborg literature.
You know what? I'm just going to move on to my poem with that.
Please do.
So I brought this up because I went back through my British and Irish literature folder and found this poem, which is the Musée des Beaux-Arts, I'm sure I said that wrong, please don't kill me, by W.H. Auden. So clearly it's British or Irish literature. It's British, by the way. Okay. About suffering, they were never wrong. The old masters, how well they understood its human position, how it takes place, while someone else is eating or opening a window or just walking dully along, how, when the aged are reverently, passionately waiting for the miraculous birth, there must always be children who did not specifically want it to happen, skating on a pond at the edge of the wood. They never forgot that even the dreadful martyrdom must run its course, anyhow in a corner, some tidy spot, where the dogs go on with their doggy life and the torturer's horse scratches its innocent behind on a tree. In Bregel's Icarus, for instance, how everything turns away, quite leisurely from disaster. The plowman may have heard the splash, the forsaken cry, but for him it was not an important failure. The sun shone, as it had to, on the white legs disappearing into the green water, and the expensive, delicate ship that must have seen something amazing, a boy falling out of the sky, had somewhere to get to, and sailed calmly on. I'm pretty sure I pronounced that wrong. I'm sorry, guys.
Braille?
Bragels? I really don't know.
When it's a like British GH, do you pronounce the G?
Well, I think it's Italian.
Oh.
I also just don't know. I've Googled the pronunciation 3 times and I just can't remember it.
Look, here we go. I got you. I'm going to Google it and then also not be able to pronounce it. Basically how you be an English teacher.
The picture that that this mentions the Bragels.
Watch it be written in IPA and neither of us can read it.
That's why.
What is a V with a loop at the bottom?
Unmute yourself first, or else we won't be able to. It's Dutch.
It's Dutch. This might be super loud, I don't know.
Breugel.
Not helpful.
Breugel.
So I was right, though. You don't pronounce the G.
Well, I think in Dutch, but I think if you're pronouncing it in
okay,
like English.
So you're pronouncing the Dutch name in English now?
I cannot roll my I don't know what they did. I can't do that.
It's a glottal.
I do not know how to do that.
It's a glottal fricative. Come on. You're taking linguistics.
This is the part I'm literally just learning. Give me a break. But that painting that they're talking about, Bruegels. See, I can't do it. Like, I can't do it.
Bruegel. Let's just call it Bruegels.
In his Icarus.
Just call it Icarus.
I'm just gonna... Well, that's the painting's name. It's Icarus. It shows Icarus when he falls from the sky, and it's literally just two pale legs sticking out of a lake, and everything around him is turned away and not looking. So it's kind of just showing, like...
Did you look that up, or do you know that?
I remember it from British marriage literature.
The mind of Natalie.
And it's kind of like, the world moves on even while we're all immersed in our own private tragedies. Sure? Yeah, see, look, his little legs right there.
Oh, that's like in the corner of the...
Yes, because it's not focused on Icarus, because Icarus isn't important in the eyes of the viewer.
Look, I got you. Brilliant.
It's so... I don't know, I find it very interesting. So it's kind of like, what is your responsibility as a witness, and like... how the world still has to move on even after, like, a tragedy, essentially. And the world doesn't stop for our own quiet, private moments. Or when we're drowning in a pond, apparently. It's fine.
Moral of the story is stay away from ponds? No. I think,
don't build yourself wings out of wax, and you'll be fine.
Yeah, like, on a lighter note, I think it's really talking about how you said... people aren't really paying attention to your failure. Like, you need to just, like, live your life. Like, you're going to do things that are hard, and you're going to be bad at them for a long time.
Yeah.
And then maybe eventually you won't be bad at them. And that'll be an amazing feeling. But until then, you just have to, like, plow through, like, get there.
Essentially, not as many people are paying attention to you as you think.
Yeah. There's a lot of people paying attention to themselves.
Yes.
So, like, if you ever have to, like, give a speech in a class, like, everyone else in that class is so worried about their own speech that they're not paying attention to you. So if you're nervous, that's like...
I'm gonna be honest, if you're giving a speech, I'm probably not paying attention. Like, I'll listen. It's about
Icarus, apparently.
I'll listen, but I'm not like, oh my gosh, this person, like...
He mispronounced Bruegel.
I'm just kind of, like, chilling. I will admit, though, I have the tendency, if you're telling me something boring, to count how many times you say, So,
don't do that.
No, don't start.
So, moving on.
I'm just gonna go cry in a corner, it's fine.
So, I feel like we're pretty close to fall, even though it's a brisk 90-something degrees out today.
Because it's supposed to rain today and tomorrow. The humidity is like...
No, it's legit hot out.
It's so hot.
So, yeah. I don't know. We're on our way into fall. It might still be summer. I don't know how seasons work. I know we're in Virgo season.
Why do you know that? What does Virgo season mean?
You know what?
Are they looking for people to date? Like, what does that mean?
So, if you know a Virgo and they're in a bad mood, just tell them it's Virgo season and they need to cheer up.
I feel like you shouldn't do that.
You're like, look, listen, that is not Virgo season energy, okay?
I feel like that's not a good...
Like, obviously, like, don't try to solve their problems by telling them, like, look, it's Virgo season, okay? Like, if they're like, I missed a car payment, they're like, well, listen, it's Virgo season. You'll pick it up. Like, that's not what I'm saying. But if someone wakes up and they're like, man, I got a lot of work to do today, I don't know if I'm going to get it done, you can be like, look, listen, it's Virgo season, okay? Use your Virgo season energy and kick butt.
But what is that energy?
What is energy? Okay, so anyway, Song of Crisp Leaves by Wanda LeBrayton. Leah Brayton? Is it Leah or Lee?
I think that's Leah.
Leah?
Definitely Leah.
Okay. Suddenly, we whirled across the floor, our stockinged feet a swirl of chaos, innocence, unaware those moments together would end so abruptly. Few words hovered in dense air between us. A hollowed heft of solitude echoed instead. Nights were swift as shadows dwindled, pooling beneath your eyes. So lost inside, the quietude of what would be your final days. We couldn't hear the lack of song, the bare brunt of silence when it finally fell. Who knew what December would bring, coming as it did after October's final dance and November's last ache of music.
Wow, this is really depressing.
Yeah, that is not what I was expecting. I don't know, like, it's the end of a season, so, like, maybe I was 3 months early about this. Maybe I should have picked one that was like, and as the sun sets for its last tepid time.
I think it's pretty, though. It's, like, very quietly mournful.
Yeah, I really liked reading it. There were a couple parts where I felt like the timbre was off. I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't know. Like, the lines just didn't, like, sync up as well as I was expecting. Like, it dwindled in quietude. Like, I was expecting those to rhyme for some reason.
I don't know. I don't know. I kind of liked that section, actually.
Yeah. Like, I liked...
It felt nice to me, at least.
Yeah. I don't know. Because it was a long line and then a short line and then a short line and then a long line.
Yeah.
And, like, that works, but I was expecting, like, long, short, long, short.
Yeah, that's just because so many poems we've had to read have been.
Yeah. But, yeah, it's a good mood.
It's just very subtly sad, which, like, I like that.
If anyone's sad about summer leaving...
We feel you.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't actually feel you. I want summer to leave.
I am definitely a spring person.
I'm here for any season that isn't I have to walk 15 minutes across campus in the beating sun. I'm down for any season that isn't that.
You'd rather trek through snow than
I really
march through
would,
sun.
because I'm going to be taking off my coat halfway anyways. I'm going to get really hot and probably really gross, but I'm not going to have that, like, multiplied by the sun just cooking me.
I saw someone walking through campus with an umbrella, like, open today.
Yeah, because it's supposed to help with sun.
Yeah.
I'm, like, debating on doing that. But.
Umbrellas have to be, like, SPF, like, infinity.
I just know that I should have brought my sun hat with me up to Kent, and then...
Your sun hat?
I have a sun hat, and
That's so adorable.
I'm so sad
Is
because...
it one of, like, the big floppy French ones?
Like, I got it from Walmart because I'm cheap. But it's, like, floppy, but it's not ginormous because... I would probably lose it.
Get the biggest, floppiest hat you
Okay, I actually love them though, so like I would totally do that. But they really work. I wore it to like a medieval fair, and my face did not get burnt, and I was there for like 4 hours, so that was nice.
A medieval fair? You didn't have like a chainmail sun hat? Like, that's just a helmet, Chris. No, listen.
I don't like what you're saying right now. Just
Okay.
cue nervous laughter.
Nervous laughter, moving on, nervous laughter. Writing prompt. So Natalie found this one. It is the right way to write. Didn't we have them before?
Yes, because I love them, and their name is so cute.
And they're still on Instagram. They haven't moved anywhere. It just says, "Don't bleed on my floor." I'm reading this for the first time now, and I don't... Are we supposed to, like, is that the last sentence or, like, a middle sentence?
It's the prompt.
Is that the mood?
It's whatever you want it to be, Chris.
That's generally not how writing prompts work, but you know what? Let's go. Don't bleed on my floor.
Like, I wanted to change from doing a dialogue prompt, because that's what we did last time, so I was like, maybe I should grab something else. So I went for, like, a sentence.
You could do, like, "Don't bleed on my floor," and then, like, you hit someone and make them bleed, and then you keep hitting them because they bled. Like, what a jerk. Stop bleeding. You know? Kind of like it's like, the punishments will continue until morale improves. That's a fun mood.
Oh my gosh.
You could also be like, "Don't bleed on my floor." Oh, you know what? This
Coming
would be
from a
perfect
person
time.
with, like, OCD, just
Yeah.
struggling.
Like, they come in, they're missing a limb. They're like, "Don't get blood on the floor." Come on. I just mopped. I literally just mopped. You can still smell the Pine Sol. Shout out Pine Sol if you're listening.
Sponsor us. Just anybody, honestly.
Anyone.
I'll take anyone. If you want to give me $20, I'll say your name.
I'd do it for like 2.
Okay, Chris is cheaper than me.
Yeah. 'Cause I feel like I can like weave it in pretty well. You know.
I'll just open it with, "This episode is sponsored by..."
Oh,
Something,
that's
something,
true.
something.
Isn't it like illegal to like do like
Is
Stealth
it?
sponsorships.
I think there's something. I think you're
If I
not
was
supposed to
writing
do that.
Yeah, if I was writing a poem and it was like, and then I was sipping my Pure Leaf TMT.
I think it's because, like, I think that was ruled as bad because people were, like, watching or reading stuff and then they were thinking that it was part of the actual show.
I'm almost certain that was, like, a point in television.
Yes.
Where,
No,
like,
it really was.
where, like, it's like, all right, everyone get up for breakfast. And then the TV mom reaches into the cabinet and pulls out, like, Frosted Flakes. And she's like, always part of a balanced breakfast for my good boy Timmy. And then Timmy's like, I love Frosted Flakes. And then, they solve a murder later in the episode. And it's just like, what did Frosted Flakes have to do with this?
Yes.
All right. I think we're on a tangent. Let's start writing. I'm going to write a poem because you said you have somewhere to be today.
I mean, we have time. I just will have to struggle to find parking around Whitehall.
Time for a poem. Where did you park?
I parked at across the street.
You just walked to Whitehall.
But it's hot.
You're technically not wrong, but it's like a 7-minute walk at most.
I know, but I will be disgusting and sweaty by the time I get there, and that's not what I want in my life.
I'm still writing a poem, though.
You have at it. What did you just type?
You know what? Get your own page.
Oh my gosh, this is so rude.
Look, here we go.
I'm offended.
Are you ready? Insert.
You're kicking me out.
Insert page break.
Oh,
get out.
How dare... Oh!
Now you can't read
this is so mean. I don't even know what to write to this prompt. I picked it, and I don't know what I want to write.
Write a poem.
Fine.
You could do like Susie and be like, don't bleed on my floor. Don't bleed on my bed. Don't bleed in my cabinets. Don't bleed anywhere. I don't want to do a sad poem.
Oops, too late.
Oh no. But it's Virgo season.
What does that mean?
We've established I don't know actual seasons, but...
You know, I guess if you have to know something, but like, I'd rather you didn't know that something.
When does fall start?
I'm pretty sure September 21st.
September 23rd, actually.
Ooh,
so look,
fancy.
we have 12 more days of summer, okay? So let's write a summary poem about bleeding. You know what? I've got an amazing pun.
Oh no.
Don't bleed at my floor. And it's about a goat.
Oh my god. No. I'm just questioning my life decisions.
Do goats have fuzzy pink noses?
No.
What kind of a nose does a goat have?
They're like a horse nose. It's just...
Horse noses are fuzzy, aren't they?
Yeah, but they're not necessarily pink.
Okay.
They're just like the same color as their fur, or a little bit lighter.
What's a good color of a goat?
White?
That's so boring.
I'm sorry. That's just what I think of when somebody talks to me about her.
Auburn.
Ooh, fancy.
If either of us can spell Auburn first try.
Okay, I know how to spell Auburn.
A-U-B. Am I on the right track? O-R-N? Auburn?
Are you okay? Why don't you just Google it?
Why don't I just write the word brown?
Because Auburn is like an orangey brown.
Oak. Oaken.
Did you say oak?
No, it's a manly horse. What is going on?
I thought it was a goat.
That doesn't look safe. No.
What?
His oaken snout. Now it sounds like a pig.
Ah, you moved my screen. Just call it a snoot. Just go with it.
Oaken snoot. Does haunches rhyme with patches?
I don't think so.
Because it's got like... It's a sight rhyme at the very least.
Yeah?
Thatches are like grass, right?
Thatches?
Thatches. It's like an area, like a grassy area.
Like, think of like a thatched roof. It's like...
It's made of grass.
Yeah, it's like hay bailey-ish.
Okay. Yeah.
Like, it's all stuck together.
I'm pretty sure that thatch. It just says roof with straw. Is thatch literally specifically about roofs?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought like thatch was like a material. Why do you call it straight? Oh, it's Old English.
Yeah.
Backet. To cover. Oh, it means to cover. Can I say wisping instead of whispering?
Wisping?
Yeah.
I mean, I think so, but I'm picturing, like, wispy hairs.
That's fine. It's poetic. It's like the fancy word for a goat. Like, what's the taxidermy of a goat?
Really
or taxonomy? List of goat breeds. That's exactly what I want.
Of course.
There's a goat breed called a far, and I've been using the word upon, so that's hilarious. I'm done. It's a sound that a big goat would make.
Bah.
Wow. First of all, I don't think goats make bah sounds. That's cheap. Okay. So you're wrong on a... You're wrong on like a fundamental barnyard animal sound level. I appreciate the attempt. Okay. I'm just gonna...
Do you think they bray? Or is that more like donkeys and moose?
No.
Well, no, moose trumpet.
I just need I need a more, like a physical sound, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Like whispering, you can picture whispering.
They can mutter.
Yeah, but it needs to be like big goat sound.
Yeah.
Big goats don't mutter.
Big goats yell.
Gross.
Call.
Nope.
Shriek. Bugle.
Stomp. Give me like a verb. Give me a verb that makes a sound. Stomp. 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 Big one. Stomping. Pompous.
Rustling.
No. We already did stomping pompously.
I feel like mine just got really depressing real fast.
Okay.
Hello.
We can end on a high note with mine then.
Okay.
Yours is so long.
It's really short stanzas though.
Yeah, but sure.
Oh, I need to change this because everything else is in present tense. There we go. Okay, hi. I'm here to be depressing, I guess. This is what you get when...
You don't have to move closer to the microphone.
Hello.
Just...
We're doing ASMR now.
Yeah, that would be appropriate. Just read your poem from your seat.
Okay. Don't bleed on my floor, she says, her words already lashing my skin. But lover, you're the reason I'm bleeding. Your hateful sighs, the way you smirk, tears me up and swallows me whole. Oh, lover, I'm bleeding, all over that pristine white floor. Clean up the mess you've made, patch me up, make me whole. I'm bleeding. Red drops fall as rain, a sprinkler of carnage as I fall apart before you. Watch me fall, watch me break, watch me bleed. I'm falling apart, in front of you, again. Oh, lover, I'm bleeding, make me whole again.
That's really good, actually.
Oh, thank you.
Super good. I like the repetition at the end. Like, watch me fall, watch me break, watch me bleed. Like, that was really good. Because before it's like, okay, this is kind of a narrative, but then it's like, bam, bam, bam. It was really good. And also a sprinkler of carnage. That's such a visceral thought. It's you're oh, you're bleeding, okay. But a sprinkler of carnage is more than oh no, I'm bleeding. But yeah. Also, clearly not actually about bleeding, right?
Yes.
Okay. Because, I could see it's, an argument, and, they stabbed him, and he's like, you're such a bitch. just fix it. Listen, I was right, but you stabbed me. So go get me a Band-Aid and say you're sorry. But then also, it's I think it's a breakup. right? Or is it just like a really bad fight?
I'm feeling like it's just a bad relationship overall.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. Like, a bad relationship overall, I don't see that. Because, like, this seems like it's happening, and he wants to be fixed.
Mm-hmm.
Not like I'm broken, fix me, but like you're being like a real piece of shit right now. Cut it out. So, yeah, I don't know. On a lighter note, I don't really see anything that I would say needs edited. If you wanted to, you could push some of these lines together.
Yeah.
Like, but lover, you're the reason I'm bleeding. Like, I don't know if that has to be 3 lines. You could probably do 1 line there, and then, like, your hateful sighs, the way you smirk, tears me up and swallows me whole. Like, I don't know, that could be 2 lines.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm just thinking, like, if you rearrange it in, like... Because, like, shorter lines makes it more action-packed, I think. And I don't know if you're, like, going for, like, action in here. But if you are, then it's working. I don't know. That's my vision of what's happening. Do you have any comments?
I really don't.
Okay. So, yeah, I went in the hilarious goat-related direction. I tried to start off serious, but I was like, no, that's not happening today. It's Virgo season.
No, what does this mean?
So I have his oaken snoot, his soft white patches, her grass-stained hooves, her bulky haunches, the big one near my boot, the small one in the thatches, the small one wisping quietly, the big one stomping pompously. Do not stand upon the couch, do not stand upon the rug, get these afar out of my house, do not bleat upon my floor.
I love it.
Yeah. The last line in the second stanza is still, that needs work. Ideally, it would rhyme with quietly. Like, pompously,
it's like sort of.
Yeah, like the ending's there, but like it doesn't flow as well as it could.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like all the other ones flow pretty well. And afar is a type of horse. Or a type of goat, so...
That's so cute. I love it.
Like, you just Google types of goats. There's like 200 of them. Take your pick. You could probably rhyme a type of goat with anything you wanted.
I love it.
And that's why writing practice is so important. Because before that, I would have been like, 4 types of goat? Maybe 5. There's a whole Wikipedia article. It's a whole thing.
Oh my god.
I mean, like, it makes a lot of sense, because a lot of cultures eat goats.
Yeah.
Or, like, raise goats for something.
Yes, there'd be a lot of development in that area.
Yeah, like, there's, like, milking goats. There's probably, like, a lot of everything.
Yeah, I feel like there would be.
Those taxonomists. Those are the people who name animals? A taxonomist?
I don't think so. I think it's just scientists in general.
No, there's...
I really don't know.
I'm gonna Google taxonomist. Taxonomist. A taxonomist is a biologist that groups organisms into categories. Boom. So, like, they don't name them, but they put them into groups. Yeah. So, an insect taxonomist might focus on the relationship between different types of beetles. Wow, what a job. Imagine your job is, like... I imagine it's like the bulk bin at like Walmart. It's just like, here's you 40 pounds of beetles for the week, Mr. Taxonomist.
Oh my god.
Sort these.
Just like these ones are about to expire, please do them soon.
We need these beetles labeled for quick sale. We've had these beetles in the beetle bin for too long. Some of them are starting to go bad.
I love it.
Now it's more like like someone who works in like produce. It's like, look, the apples are going bad, man. We got to turn them into apple pies. We got to get all the green apples over here and all the red apples over here. If there's any taxonomists listening, let us know what you do.
Yeah, like, what do you... How does this work?
Look, they sort beetles.
Yeah, but, like, how? Like, I want an explanation. You can just come over and take over, like, the Instagram for a day or something and just show us what you do, because now I want to know.
There's a taxonomy Wikipedia page, but I don't know if that's specifically about taxonomists.
No, I think that's just about taxonomy. Oh.
No taxonomists. All right, that's our episode.
No, we need to do our book recommendations.
Oh yeah, book recommendations. Sorry, we're very tight on time, so all right, go quick.
Okay, I have To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. This is the first time I have read this book over the summer, and oh my lord, it's beautiful. Like, it's so subtle, except for the parts where it smacks you over the head. But like, it's definitely needed because it's more like a YA books, and like, my entire class right now is like, what's the point of this? It's so slow. And I'm like, how do you not see the literary beauty of this piece of work? So
I feel like kids would really like it. Like, it focuses on the story of children.
No, because they're like, we really only liked the court scene. And I'm like, come on, everything else was so good.
That's hilarious, though, because, like, I don't know if this is 100% true, but I've heard it from multiple sources that Harper Lee wrote, like, just the court scenes. And she tried to get that published, and nothing. So she was like, all right, well, I'm making it a book then. So she, like, added all, like, the two boys and everything.
Well, like, I genuinely
enjoyed.
Yeah, it was a boy and a girl.
Okay, I was gonna say.
But, like, I genuinely enjoyed it. Like, I loved it. It was so good.
Yeah.
Okay. But I also read Of Mice and Men by Steinbeck for the first time this year. Yeah, I never had to read it during high school. And, like, it's so good. Like, that's also one of the ones that's kind of like, wait, what? But I love, like, the one, Full Circle. I love it. I love how it just kind of...
Also, it's super short.
Oh, it's so short. If you just want to read something in an hour, that's it.
Yeah, like, you can be like, sit down after dinner and have it done before the bed.
Yes, it's so easy to read. It's very quick. And I mean, like...
Have you read any other Steinbeck?
So pretty. No, I have not.
I have a couple more of his novels. I don't remember which one's on my shelf. They're there. So
but I definitely recommend it because it's got a lot of good foreshadowing, and I really like some of the narrative choices that they make. I actually highlighted some. I've discovered that owning books is nice because you can write in them and highlight in them, which is what I do now. This is what I do with my life.
Books, it's fine.
No.
If it's like the school library, I get it. I don't feel as bad if it's the school library, but like if it's like a public library, then definitely chill out. And like if someone lets you borrow their book,
don't. But actually, the copy of Mice and Men that I bought like offline, somebody had already, because I bought it used because money, but like somebody had like highlighted like literal paragraphs in it all at once, and they aren't the ones that were like significant. They were just highlighting them and like drawing little faces that were like happy faces or frowny faces as their reaction. Luckily, my roommate gave me a clean copy of ones that she didn't want anymore that I can use during student teaching.
This is what you do. You check it out somewhere. You swap them.
No, I already have a second copy. I don't need to. And my third recommendation is The Secret Life of Bees.
Grapes of Wrath is Steinbeck.
I suddenly don't like Steinbeck anymore.
Really? I love Grapes of Wrath.
I did not enjoy Grapes of Wrath.
It was a bit of a slog, but like overall the experience was worth it.
It was just a big slog for me. I did not enjoy it at all. So my third book is The Secret Life of Bees. If you remember when we had Rachel, that feels like forever ago. Rachel, I miss you.
Rachel, come back.
She recommended it, and I actually had to read it for my student teaching this year, so I did. And it was really good. Like, I read it right after To Kill a Mockingbird, and honestly, that's definitely a way I'd recommend reading them, because they're both about the same topic, which is racism. And
I was going to say bees.
No. The Secret Life of Bees is not about bees. But they both...
Neither is To Kill a Mockingbird.
Right.
Not about birds?
Nope.
I thought we were doing birds and bees over here.
Nope.
Wow.
They both follow kids, but To Kill a Mockingbird goes through younger kids, like a child who's experiencing or kind of like a witness to racism but doesn't actually understand what it means. And then The Secret Life of Bees is a child who's lived in that culture and like absorbed some of the racism, like the racist mentality, and then they have to like unlearn it essentially. And it's really interesting the different perspectives they offer.
Step 3, you could do like Going to Meet the Man. I'm just gonna keep bringing that up every time we have to talk about it.
I am not going to have any of my high school children read that unless they are very, very mature. Because I read that and I was uncomfortable.
I read that as a young adult and I didn't know what to do with myself.
I did not read it as a young adult. I read it last year and I was just uncomfortable. Like, it was, you should be uncomfortable when you're reading that sort of stuff.
Were you not a young adult last year?
I guess I was,
yeah,
but like...
I was gonna say.
I feel like I'm an adult. Like, young adult is like Twilight, and adult is like... adult books.
You're not wrong. Definitely not wrong. Alright, so I have Great Gatsby also... I don't know if I'm reading it for the first time. It feels like the first time, but I have like every scene in my head for some reason.
I did enjoy that. I did have to read that in high school.
Like, yeah, I don't know if I read it so long ago that I forgot it, or if I watched the movie and like I'm combining the two. It's a very strange experience reading. But as far as literary style goes and like young adult stuff, if you haven't read it yet, go ahead and pick it up.
It's very short as well.
Yeah. I wouldn't say like in a one day sitting.
I've done it in one day.
Well, I'm not saying you can't. I'm just saying, like, maybe if it's your day off.
Yeah, if you're just like sitting down for like a couple hours, like maybe 2 days.
Yeah, I think I'm like 3 hours and like almost halfway done, or more than halfway done. And then I have Solar Bones by Mike McCormick. This is like a newer book. McCormick is a Irish author, I think, or Scottish.
Oh, that's interesting.
And he's like an award-winning like author that I've never heard of. And this book is written in poetry, but it looks almost like prose.
Okay, that's cool, actually.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I have it with me if you want to take a peek.
I actually do.
Yeah.
We can put a picture on Twitter.
Oh, we can. We can put our tea. I finished my extra sweet tea and like...
I finished my Arnold Palmer, but I've already drunk like an entire Dunkin' Donuts coffee, so like I really just need to go to the bathroom.
So to finish off the podcast, I'm going to sip this room temperature raspberry tea and let you know.
You're so salty that it's room temperature.
Don't put it in a cooler if it's room temperature. Right? Like stock it from the back or actually plug them in. Like whatever the problem was.
No, I feel that. So, how you feeling?
The raspberry really takes over.
Yeah,
so like if you like raspberries, go hard.
Yes, if you're a pure leaf person and you don't like the taste of tea, definitely get their otherwise flavored teas. But if you actually like the taste of tea, just get unflavored because...
Yeah, I'd say it's like a step away from juice.
Yeah.
Like...
Which is why I like it.
Like, I'm surprised tea is the first ingredient on here. I was almost certain it would be juice. I guess raspberries are pretty, like, powerful, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will be rereading The Fellowship of the Ring.
Go to class.
I know, that's what I'm leaving them with this thought that I'm going to be rereading The Fellowship of the Ring this semester.
If you want to read it with us, follow us on Twitter. At Teachers2020. Nat, will you tweet about your reading?
I will.
Perfect. I just convinced her to do all the work for me. Have a great day, everyone.
Bye!